Back with General Manager Dave Brown from the Team CHL at the Prospects Challenge against Team USA, also the General Manager of the Erie Otters. Dave, you got some OHL, contingent here, 10 OHL players you guys selected for this team. Can you go and talk about, the elite talent that the OHL and the CHL in general is putting on right now?
Well, I think just the Ontario Hockey League, we've got some very, unique talents. Whether it be Quinn Bouchane on the back end, Cam Reed, Matthew Schaefer, or the guys up front, Porter Martone and Michael Meza, Malcolm Spence, Brady Martin, Jake O'Brien. Those guys are all, Jack Ivankovic in the back end. It's a really good year for the Ontario Hockey League, and I think it only bodes well for the future and for the upcoming NHL draft.
I know it's all CHL, but you being a general manager of an OHL team, you get to see these guys maybe from a bigger lens than maybe some of the other guys would, and obviously going up against them in competition and trying to game plan for them. So what have you seen from some of those guys that, around the league that have impressed you, and that why you thought that they were good selections for something like this, and why they're going to be such high draft picks?
Yeah, I think the selection process was pretty easy. We were given, basically a group of guys that we had to pick from. But you know what? I think our staff, the coaching staff, myself, we were part of the U18 Halenka group in August, and I had worked with these two groups, both 06 and 07 at under 17. So we had a real good understanding of the guys. It is always interesting to see them play at this level. And within the elite competition, so it's interesting to see, and hopefully we get the results we're looking for tonight.
And honing in on a couple of your players there with the Erie Otters, Malcolm Spence and Matthew Schaefer. Obviously, two of those guys going to be, first-round picks in the NHL most likely in the next year. What have you seen from the growth of those two players since they entered your program, and why you think that they've gotten to this point and where they are in their development?
Yeah, I think one of the things is, you want to insulate the guys when they're young a little bit, and so they don't get eaten up. And I think that the organization's done a really good job of putting them in position to succeed. And then you get to events like this, and they can be part of events, whether it be Hockey Canada or here, where they can gain more experience and continue to grow as a player and gain the confidence that you need to have to be an elite guy.
And quickly on Matt Schaefer, obviously everything he's been through in the last year with his personal life and family and everything like that, and for him to have the high expectations of a first overall pick in the OHL draft last year, how do you think that he's handled everything and been able to come out the other side with everything that he's dealt with in the last year, and now being in his NHL draft year trying to take that next step forward?
Well, I think both his mom and dad, have done a fabulous job, because he's the consummate professional. And I think what he went through in the last 12 months is not something I'd want any young guy to endure. And I think that he handled it in stride. And I think that he's like I said, he's a consummate professional. But I think one of the things that helped too was he allowed everyone to surround him with the nurturing and the love and that sort of thing that he needed in order to grieve. And I think the world of him as a player, but I think he's a superstar person.
Absolutely. And lastly, we talk about events like this with the Team CHL versus Team USA. We see the announcement with the NCAA partnering with the CHL to allow players to be able to, not lose their Division I eligibility, and with possible expansion to the OHL as well as a rumored thing. So how have you seen the league develop and grow, and how important do you think events like this are, and everything that's been going on with the whole CHL, that it's just going to continue to grow and get bigger and bigger as the years goes on?
Well, I think events like this are super important, to see what's going on in other leagues, and so I'm blessed to be involved with it. But I think Brian Crawford and the staff at the Ontario Hockey League have done a really good job of, changing on the go here, and being able to morph into situations and be adaptable. And I think we got some real challenges ahead in terms of, working with these groups, but I think we're headed in the right direction. I think it's an exciting time for all the teams, and can't wait to, continue on and see how things improve.